and welcome to We Got a Podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm Doug.
And I'm Ken.
Keeping it simple this time. I like it.
You say so.
We're the world's strongest under the heavens trio de dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. And this episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite little lore tidbits. But before that, I've got to ask that age-old question. Doug, how you doing?
Yo. Good, man. I just came back, not just now. I don't know why I said just now. Last weekend, I went to a T-Pain concert. First concert I've been to in like a long time, maybe even ever. I think the one before this, I went to a Britney Spears concert when I was like 15. Amazing time back then, too. I had a shirt that said, show me the chocolate. It had the money sign on there, but it crossed out and it said chocolate instead because I got it at Hershey Park. Freaking dope. Had girls turn around and laugh at me. That was okay. That didn't settle trauma into my life for the rest of my life, but... Anyways, this T-Pain concert was freaking dope, man. I still don't like the big crowd type deal, but it was still really cool to hear music that, like, I'm a type of guy with music that I don't like listening to one artist song after song after song after song. It has to be like a mix. So concerts don't really work on me, right? Because it's only one artist up on stage for a set time kind of thing. But with T-Pain's music, I think he's the one in my life that like he has so many bangers for me that it's like, nah, I'm here for it. So that was a good time. Came back and decided, you know what, Ken's really getting into Clair Obscur. I'm like, I can't be left in the dust that badly. So I went back, played a little more, Randy. I know you're happy about that. And hell yeah, I passed Act 2 and man, was I in shock for something to happen there. And I'm like, let's do this, baby. I'm still like, getting used to things. I think what stopped me was the new character being introduced. I'm like, I don't get her. I'm going to take a break. I came back and took your guys' advice. Don't even mess with her. So I'm like, okay, great. Now I know what I'm doing.
Wait,
yeah,
so
really fun.
You passed Act 2 or you're in Act 2?
No, I'm in Act 2.
Okay.
Act 2. Yeah.
I was like, dang.
Yeah. No. I played it for a good few hours, but I'm still relatively early on. It's really courteous of the game to give you a lookalike for you to get used to things and not be too different, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. This one, actually, this character feels way better than the previous one. It's just like, oh, my previous character is just like, I feel like he couldn't do anything. He couldn't get done. He wasn't accruing like AP. But this guy, love him.
It's good. Once you've got everybody in the team, man, things get wet and wild.
Wet and wild. Sure. Hell yeah. Oh, and also I got new figures. I can't not show that. I also got new figures. This is the 40th anniversary Kula. But yeah, very nice.
See,
but that's me.
Before we started recording, Doug said he got his plastic touching all out of his system, but he still couldn't help picking up a figure to show it on camera.
Surrounded by it.
Could have said it. Had to show it. And I love that about him. He's just so excited. Ken, how are you doing? What's new?
So Doug kind of already touched on this a little bit. You know, I've been playing Expedition 33. As I said I was going to do last time, I followed through on it. I very quickly passed where Doug was.
Yeah.
And I am still probably, 5 or 6, 8 hours ahead of where he's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, that's a great game. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It's funny because the second I started playing it, and I apologies to our audience if, I feel like we talk about Expedition 33 a lot as Randy was introduced to it, then Doug got introduced to it, and now me. And so you're just going to have to bear with us. There's no fourth person on this podcast, so this is going to be it'll trickle out eventually. But the second I put control on the main character, I laughed out loud because it felt like a janky PS3 game.
Yeah.
But then I very quickly learned that's the charm.
Oh yeah.
Of it being like a small team. Like people are saying like, oh, I couldn't believe this is a small team. I can believe it. There's some stuff in here that's like just shy of like what you would expect from a AAA polish, but that's okay. Everything's just works so well in this game. I don't know, where I'm at on Game of the Year so far. I played Death Stranding 2 this year. I played Pirate Yakuza, which I know some people didn't like, but I loved that game. I played Schedule 1, which was a huge dopamine drip. Not for everybody, though. If this game doesn't win Best Original Soundtrack.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone loves this track.
I think we need to like arrest Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
and hold a tribunal.
Finally.
I think that's where we're at.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
Someone that told me like, oh, you're secretly a Souls guy because I enjoy the dodging and the parrying. And it's like, no, I was born in the fires of Super Mario RPG. And that's what I'm used to. Every RPG I've played that doesn't have timed hits in it is a frustrating experience. And I'm still hitting the buttons as if there were timed hits. So to give me an RPG back that has timed hits, I wish there were more timed hits. Like I wish there were timed hits in the base attacks. They're not. And that's fine. They can do that in the next game. But for everything else, this game, I'm really, really, really having a good time with it. Doug, you should use the 4th character.
Dang it!
You're gonna do more. You're gonna do more damage.
Do I need to learn how to read tarot cards? And
no. And you guys, okay, and you guys are making it sound like the Lune's situation is complicated, and it's not.
It was just a lot given to me at once. It was just like I finally got used to the 3, and then it's like a lot.
And that's the thing is that the game when they introduce you to a new character, there is so much going on with them, but the difficulty allows you to ramp into understanding how they work naturally. So like it doesn't expect you to like know the intricacies of Miles, like offensive, defensive, and what is it called? Virtuose. You don't have to know all that stuff right away. You will figure it out as you go. And then the game will ramp up difficulty, being like, okay, you've had a little bit with this character. Like I'm assuming you've kind of figured out some stuff about them now, and then we can go. So it's like it does throw a lot at you at once, but it's like, hey, don't worry about it. You will figure it out eventually on your own.
Okay, cool.
And and that's how I felt with CL. Although I switched to her, kind of, I just grew tired. I'll say of the other guy.
Gotcha. Yes, as soon as I stopped worrying, because I that's the one thing about me with these kind of games is that I always worry too much about missing stuff. So I always go through every nook and cranny of the map to make sure I'm not missing anything. But I hate that about myself, and I hate that wasting time. And then it's just a bunch of chroma that I wasted all this time for. As soon as I kind of let go of that a little bit and just went for the story, it was cool. But then I watch other playthroughs. After I get to a certain point, I watch other people's playthroughs up to that point to see what they did, and I'm like, where'd they get that hair? I want that hair. And so I go back and where'd they get that hair from?
You need that chroma for that. Because you run into so many of those guys, and if you have the chroma, you can purchase those hairstyles. There is I was doing one of the gestural beaches, and it was this parkour part, and it was frustrating because, like I said, this game has janky controls, and that's okay. But I was getting annoyed with this, and I was telling Randy, I'm like, Randy, I don't want to do this, whatever. And Randy's like, oh, it's not important stuff. It's just swimsuits for the female characters or something.
Kid's like, excuse me?
Excuse me? Yeah. You said not important? And so I immediately went and did it and unlocked a swimsuit for Lune, which she has been wearing ever since.
Nice.
I got it. Does it make some cutscenes goofy? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter.
I got
all of the other. Yeah, man. Do it. It's gosh, I'm just so excited hearing that you're enjoying it, Ken, because even though it doesn't really affect me, it always worries me when I talk something up and I really like something and then I introduce it to somebody and they're like, it's okay. Or it's trash, actually.
My biggest fear is just showing someone a movie and then hyping it up and then looking and they're on their phone. I'm like, God dang it. This wasn't for them. I love this, but it's not for them.
The story is just like Kojima bonkers. And that's what I'm here for. And Randy, I did share with you my theory about what was going on. And I am doubling down on it further, but I think I had it backwards. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I'm at now.
What? All right,
Randy knows.
Tune in later, guys, for the spoiler-free talk of us. We'll do Clear Obscure.
Yeah, we'll do a Clear Obscure spoiler cast when we're all done. Get it out of our systems.
It's true. The only thing I want to say, and I know that I brought it up on Mario Kart, which if you're not watching Mario Kart, that's the real thing you should be doing, which is, every Saturday night, grabyournearest.com or twitch.tv/VegettoEX. Come and join us. But I had shared that, we do this podcast. We text each other all of the time. Rarely are we on a phone call with each other outside of this podcast. And Ken messaged me and said, I finished Act 1, and I just said, how are you feeling about that? And then my phone started to ring.
How are you feeling about that? Ring, ring. I've got feelings.
It was a good experience. I liked that. We were on the phone for a half hour. Just,
that's great.
was great. So I'm so happy for you. And I'm also excited to actually dive into what we're talking about here instead of Claire Obscure. I know that we're a Dragon Ball podcast. So we're going to try to stick to that. But, we can't. That was an awful transition because I haven't talked about me yet.
Yeah,
I thought you just hadn't been doing anything all week.
I have been doing some stuff. I watched some movies, some anime short films. I watched this thing called Tokyo Marble Chocolate, which is a 2007 OVA by Production IG. Very cute, very sweet. It's about two people dating and just like the goofy things that happen to them one day of just like around Christmas. It's really, really great. And it's really, really cute. And then the other one
Christmas
was
anime type
episodes. Man. Strap in. It's real good. And it's only like 50 minutes. It's like 2 25-minute OVAs and it's really nice. Then this other one called The Concierge here. In Japan, it's like the concierge of like, it's a whole long hotel name and I can't remember what it was. That was from 2023, also Production IG. Very, very good. So check those out. And then also 2 days ago, it's spooky season. So it's like, let's watch something a little more on that vein. So we watched Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I'm not sure if you've...
I know who she is.
You know who she is. Okay, well, this is... like it started, I'm like, is this Wayne's World before Wayne's World? Because it's like her hosting her show, and then we pull back and it's all the camera crew and everything, and then she gets assaulted by a new boss, and then she punches him in the face and leaves, and she's going to go get an inheritance from a aunt that died across the country, and I saw a Letterboxd review that was just, this movie is just Footloose, but for gays. And I was like, this is pretty good because it's like in a small town. And like everybody is like, oh, she's weird and different. But it's really good. Otherwise, I'm also building something. Can't show it to you right now, but I had watched a YouTube video of this guy who just built a, let's say, retro home console that you can just like, run ROMs and stuff off. Now, granted, I have a lot of ways to do that, but this was cool because he also provided like 3D modeling files to 3D print a shell for it to make it look really cool. So I just received the PC in yesterday, and so then the project is going to be taking it out of its thing, putting it in this custom shell and everything.
Whoa.
And yeah, it's going to be cool. I got the 3D parts from a D&D buddy, showed up on Saturday. He's like, I got the I'll print it for you. He had let me choose the colors because he went to go buy filament. So it's matte black and like sparkly amethyst for like the front plate. It's going to look super cool.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm excited. That's going to be cool. But other than that, not a whole lot, which is good because then we can actually jump into the topic. So sorry for delaying it further, but we can do some lore tidbits. Ken, I know that lore is kind of your jam. So, do you want to sort of kick this off? Where does this come from? Like, what are we actually going to be diving into here?
Well, I mean, we talk a lot about Dragon Ball and the big strokes, but like, what are some of the like little things about this world that are interesting or fun to talk about that maybe a lot of things might go overlooked, right? So, like, to give you a big picture, I listed out 5 of them that I've got. I don't know if you guys have a full 5, but I do. Doug?
Yes, I do. I do homework.
I'll just go ahead with my number 5, like favorite lore tidbit, which is that
Sure.
Goku's first instance of doing the fusion dance is always with Vegeta. He had never done it before. Like when he learns the dance with Metamorans.
Right. He's just watching them do it.
No, he trained with them, but remember, if you're at like too disparate of a power level, then you won't actually fuse. So he trained with them for a week to learn it. How do you know that you really succeeded? But anyways, that's besides the point. So he learned Metamoran fusion. So every time in like the 3 different continuities in which he does the fusion dance, it's always with Vegeta for the first time. So I think that's just a fun thing. And then also,
do you think are you saying that like when they were just training with the Metamories that like he would do it actually, but because their powers are so vastly different, not even a failed version of the fusion would come about? He does the fusion dance with Piccolo, and nothing happens. Okay.
Remember?
Oh,
I feel like you have to mean it.
Activate it or mean it. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. On the same, like, yeah. Maybe they didn't match their power levels. Well, that could also go into this theory. Like they weren't matching any power levels, so that didn't amount to anything. But I guess like Goten and Trunks were close enough where it was just off, so it failed because their poses.
Yeah, because remember Goku's telling them like, "Oh, you have to bring your power level down, Trunks, and then you have to get this poses."
So it did match, but it's just the poses that failed that results. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, okay.
So it's just like a fun little thing of you don't really always think about that with fusion. Is that the first time Goku ever does it successfully is also always Vegeta's first time as well.
True.
Just a cool little thing.
It's really cute.
Yeah. Here's the problem. I couldn't pick a top 5 because, like, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything, and I had to, like, go research. So I wasn't, like, favorites. I was like, what are 5 I could think of that aren't super, super basic?
Right. Are there any particular order, or we're just doing it?
Ken did his number 5, so if you have an order, I say go for it in that order.
I don't have an order.
Okay. I have one here, but now I'm contemplating switching it out because this one is too basic. But I'm just going to go for it anyway. I mean, a lot of people know about it. I think I knew about it, but I had to look it up. I'm like, where exactly did this come from? Which is that pure-blooded Saiyans have black hair. I mean, obviously, if you're watching the anime, animators are going to, want to vary up the scene a bit. Sometimes you've got shots of people with blonde hair or like just straight up blue and things like that.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, so where did that come from?
Arlia Vegeta brown.
Yeah, that nice rusty brown he's got going on. But Ken, I assume you're a lore master. Do you know where this factoid is brought up?
No.
Was it anime only? I feel like maybe it was like something that Toriyama inherited, but it was like anime only type thing.
So I pulled the manga off my shelf just to make sure, and it is where I thought it would be. It is where shortly after Trunks takes care of Frieza and everything, they're all getting together to wait for Goku to land. And they're all kind of like asking him questions. And, it's like, are you really like a Saiyan? Like, nah, it can't be. There's only me and Goku that are left alive. And besides, pure-blooded Saiyans have black hair. And that kid doesn't have that. So,
right.
Like,
appropriate time to bring that up when Vegeta's like debating who's this new Saiyan? Like, there can't be another Saiyan. It's
right. Yeah.
Interesting.
So a thing that we all kind of like roughly knew, but I was like, where exactly is this brought up? I wanted to know. So I'll say that's my number 5.
And even like post then, we still get the anime animators like drawing sometimes shade of brown. Even like with Vegito, there's sometimes like a shade of brown in his hair.
Oh yeah,
that they choose to do. But I think that's just like a color lighting choice or whatever. Mine is also start out with the basic one that most people know, or like most people in the know started knowing. Which actually, I might you guys to correct me because I'm not sure I picked the right 2 characters, but it's like 2 characters that have like never spoken to each other in the series ever. Is that Goku and Chaozu that have never spoken to each other?
That's one that I contemplated put in there. Yeah, I don't believe in the manga they exchange words to each other at all.
Yeah, maybe did they even exchange words in movie 3 of Dragon Ball when he was like the Emperor and there was that whole the Tao Pai Pai movie? Like maybe not even then.
It's been like 4 years since we watched that movie. I don't remember.
But yeah, Ken, you don't recall this?
No, in the anime they might have done it during that Ino Shikacho episode.
What's that one?
The one where they fight the boar and then Tenshinhan. It's like filler.
Yeah, maybe.
They never speak to each other.
They never speak properly. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think they ever say any words to each other.
Tenshinhan's always there to like, be the conversation one, and yeah.
That kind of sucks. I kind of hate that.
I'm glad I had one that got Ken there.
I kind of hate that. I mean, yeah, when he shows up to, fight Nappa, and it's like, this one's for Yamcha and Tenshinhan, like, and this one's for that little guy who's there all of the time.
Ken, I'm so sorry. You asked for this, all right? So I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's the kind of stuff, yeah.
I love it. Okay, Ken, you got to have a number 4. Let's hear it.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going to kick it up a notch here. Again, with talking about like the words people are saying is that Goku almost never uses his inner monologue. I try before we recorded today, I spent my day hunting through the manga, trying to find as many instances of it as I could, like which is saying bubble. A lot. So I'm talking about speech bubbles. I'm talking about stuff where it's just on the screen, but he's not actually talking out loud. Mm-hmm. But if you think Vegeta uses it all the time, Piccolo uses it all the time, all of these other characters, you have to hunt to find Goku doing it. So I'm going to go through a few of the observations I've made here. The first time, as I can tell, that Goku ever uses his inner monologue is when he's observing Piccolo at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
because he says something like, he thinks to himself like, "Oh, Piccolo, I knew you would come." He says that to himself.
Because that's something that, like, because in this series, a lot of characters, like especially Goku, are very outlandishly talking. They're like outspoken about it. So, and there's always the crowd of friends around that he can talk to. But in this instance, none of his friends really like are aware of this whole Piccolo coming back thing. So it would make sense for him to just say it to himself.
But even then, there's a lot of instances where like Ten Shinhan thinks to himself, Yamcha will think to himself. It is not unexpected for a character to have speech bubbles, except for Goku. Goku never uses it until then. And then, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. If he uses his inner monologue before then, I would like to know. He uses it briefly before shooting the Super Kamehameha at Piccolo. Then he uses it again when he's asking for forgiveness from Grandpa Gohan after realizing that he was the one who killed him. He uses it a few times while fighting Frieza. Of course, one of those is, "Oh, so that's Porunga," as he's just thinking to himself. He uses it while observing Gohan versus Cell, and I couldn't find a single instance of it in the Buu arc. Even when he is getting up after having been knocked out by Majin Vegeta, he is speaking everything that he's thinking out loud.
Right, that's what I'm so used to. So that's why it was so weird that there is even that many instances of him talking in his head. I mean, the few, but still.
It's such a great thing for him is that it shows that he's always in the moment. He's not thinking ahead, thinking too much about it. He is where he is, and his actions and his words are what drive him, not like thinking about the situation necessarily.
Yeah, that's really good.
Ultra Instinct was always the way forward for this character.
For that character. Oh my gosh, it all comes back.
See, I was kind of thinking of how he was raised, because when you bring that up, I'm reminded of observation that I heard. If you've ever played the Horizon games, Zero Dawn or Forbidden West, is that our main character, Aloy, kind of grew up as an outcast, didn't really have a lot of friends, and somebody had said, well, that's why she's always bantering with herself while you're just out running around. Is like, she never really had anybody to talk to, so she always just talked to herself. And like Goku grew up in the woods with Grandpa Gohan, but he's been dead for, an amount of time. So he's just out in this house all by himself, outwardly talking in his prayers to his Dragon Ball and things like that.
Yeah, and talking to animals, right? Too. Like, that's the only thing, like, he's lonely in a sense. So yeah. Wilson. Yeah.
That's good. Nice. All right. So then that's a good number 4, Ken. I like that. Bumping it up a notch. Okay. This one is one that I didn't realize. And, I was just looking some stuff up because I couldn't really think of anything. And this one makes sense. Dragon Balls are self-healing. That after a wish is made, if there's been any damage to them, say that there's been a hole drilled into them so that Yajirobe could wear it as a necklace or anything like that. After a wish is made on them, they turn to stone, and when they come back, any damage that was done to them is reversed. So they've
Interesting.
So they're self-healing.
Yeah, they truly are neat. Magical orbs.
Because how'd they get that Dragon Ball on Gohan's hat?
Yeah. I mean, everybody always, when somebody's pulled it off, it's always been very just like it just kind of comes off. So it's like, is it just like tape? Or is it like
it's a peg for like a figure when you pop on a head? It's just like that.
Right. Yeah. But also, in the hat, you got to think about that one too.
Interesting.
Didn't Kame Sennin also have it on a rope around his neck?
It was like a suction cup, like necklace thingy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I immediately thought of, but then no, you're right with the Yajirobe one. He actually drilled a hole through it. But then, so like it's actually like a rock like in its core, right? Well, I guess not. No, it's a Dragon Ball full. But then when it power goes away, it turns into just a regular rock, right? But the hole isn't there when it. Oh,
I don't know when exactly the hole, I suppose, is disappears. But when it comes back, it doesn't got that hole no more.
Right. That makes the balls more mystical. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, Doug.
My 8th one comes from something I discovered. Sorry, I'm neck levels ahead, guys. Sorry, the number 8 does play into what this is, though. Back when I was a wee lad and I watched the AMV called Doom Rider. A lot of you might know Doom Rider. That's when I first discovered. That's when they first made it apparent to us that there were 8 Cybermen that Gohan in the anime fought against, as opposed to the 7 that Cell created. And I always just think back to this AMV whenever I see that, just because they put 8 in the corner and then question mark, 8, and it's like a quick thing. It's like, oh yeah, there were 8. interesting. I guess the anime team just wanted to show one more Gohan kills one like animation or something, But
one more bonus.
I love that because it wasn't in the manga, right? The manga there was always just 7, right? And then it's like in the anime, yeah. So yeah,
that's a good one. I dig that.
Thank you.
All right. So my next one is that the residents of Penguin Village or Penguin Village, yeah, they use the Gregorian calendar. And by that math, Battle of Gods, which came out in 2013, actually takes place in 2013.
Whoa.
Excuse me?
So in the like the Dragon Ball timeline, Dr. Slump takes place in age 745. So it's just like barely ahead of the manga, which would start in 749. And then there are like photographs that they take in like the second chapter of Dr. Slump or something, where they have this camera that can show you like how, like what you would look like in the future. And all of these photos have like little year dates and establishing that they're in 1980. There is a delta in between 1980, and a delta is a difference. Not the Metal Gear remake that just came out, but there's a delta, so difference between these two numbers of 1,235. So then if Battle of Gods in the lore of the guidebooks and everything takes place in the year 778, you add 1235 on top of that, and you get 2013, which is the year the movie came out. I have said they use the Gregorian calendar. It's true as far as the years go, but the months, they have all like sorts of weird names. They have like flying fish for May and plankton for November, which could also technically be how the rest of the Dragon World use it, because I don't think they ever actually say English months out loud.
I suppose, because Trunks only says, I assume, 5 month, for typical Japanese for, when the androids are going to show up. That it
not like May specifically. He says like 5 months.
They say 5 moon, 12 sun.
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy. Did you read that somewhere, or did your brain just like, let me dive into something. Let me do some math.
A long time ago when I'm just doing my Excel spreadsheet stuff, as I do.
And I still don't. Can you explain to me as if I'm 5 years old? Like, what are you talking about? Like, did the years happen to like match up 2013, or are you saying that when Dr. Slump has an established calendar date, so that when it was 1980 at the time when that came out, that manga with the calendar. Now that it's 2013, that calendar is the same, so it is the same. Or are you saying that like the random years?
Different cultures use different calendars sometimes.
Right.
Not everybody uses the same one. So they're using standard Gregorian calendar, which is what we have. It's 2025 in the Gregorian calendar, versus Dragon Ball's regular stuff uses the age calendar. So the years just kind of add up. So going by what year it is and what age it is at that point, if you put all the math together.
That's something that like could have and should have been intentional, but it wasn't, and it was just coincidence, but it actually did match up.
Right. As I can't imagine they plan to be like, let's put this movie out this time because it really matches the calendar and Dr. Slump.
So if you remember ever getting like really tired in 2009, that's because you were giving up your power to help beat Boo.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't do so great in college at around that time. Okay. That's cool, man. I like that. That's good. I have another basic one that I guess maybe some people just don't really know about because it was kind of talked about when it first was revealed in I want to say a Dragon Ball full color release. They've always got this Q&A thing with Toriyama.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Satan has a real name, and it's Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, of course, we're always doing name pun shenanigans here. So Mr. Satan, obviously, Satan, the devil, so on and so forth. Mark, you're like, well, that's just a normal name. Well, yeah, but if it's Japanese characters and you rearrange them, Maaku to Akuma, that's a demon. That's a devil.
Clever Toriyama pun where like Mark is outlandishly simple, so it is funny, but it does have a deeper meaning, and it actually is a pun. He still brings it back to being a pun.
Yeah,
it's a genius of him, man. It's great.
Is it that same interview where he gives Miguel's name?
It's a different one that he reveals that later.
Who's Miguel?
His wife.
Miguel?
Yeah, she's got a male name, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's named after an angel, though.
yeah.
Interesting. I always thought it was in the Super Exciting Guide. Is that just where it was originally from the full colors and then it was put into the Super Exciting Guide?
Oh, you know what? It might have been, because I think that was also where they had talked about that he
Because I
was a
very
martial
much
artist.
associate Super Exciting Guide with the Mark Revelation.
Yeah, that might have been. I was looking through a lot of stuff. I had to come up with lore tidbits, so I was just kanzenshuu.com/translations. I'm just looking through everything like, is this interesting? Is this a good tidbit? I don't know. And I'm like,
You know
all
what I
right,
did?
this one's a good one.
I looked through all my figures. And I'm like, all right, what's happening with that character, this character, that character? And speaking of that, my next one, Piccolo, I had Piccolo Daima here, the figure. Interesting thing that the anime versus the manga thing. You know how in the anime the Piccolo's pink here is pink?
Yeah.
But when Piccolo Daima was an old man, it's yellow, right? So there's that to show, like, when he regains his youth, it turns into pink to show that he's younger now, which is really interesting because then Toriyama, he just sticks with yellow for everything. So, like, whether he's young or old. So, like, I think it's clever on the animation team to decide to make the yellow into pink to show age change. It's really good. But yeah, I have my two figures I'm showing off to manga accurate color and anime color accurate. There you go.
Now,
Any chance I can get to show off figures.
When Doug was getting all of this prepped, he's like, I've got figures here for my lore. And then I saw that he was pulling Piccolo Daimao out. And what I thought he was going to talk about was that Piccolo's throne that he sits on inspires the entire look of Namek.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't really even think of that.
Because the idea being that Piccolo had this Namekian throne that he was sitting on. And so then Toriyama takes that to inspire how everything looked on Namek.
All the houses look like that and everything. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Doug,
That's
you have
nuts.
disappointed me for the last time. No, I'm kidding.
I'm out for the last time. Team, get him over here.
Yep.
Well, Randy, it's funny that you went for Mr. Satan lore because my next bit is also about Mr. Satan, and I'm going to raise you another level of interesting thing here. So this is from a Psycho Jump interview. Do you know where I'm going with this one?
I can't say that I do.
There is a translation, obviously, but it's called 12 Boo Mysteries. And it's like a huge drop of lore about like a million different things. So this is where time immemorial for Boo comes from. This is where a lot of different things about Kaioshin history comes from. It's a wealth of complicated lore.
Wow.
But what's not so complicated and is fun here is that with Mr. Satan, they talk about how he gets his name, Mr. Satan, which is that he used to go, his fighting dojo was called Satan Castle.
Oh.
And that he and his sensei were on tour in South City. And then they ran into Tao Pai Pai and were making fun of his hair, I believe. And then Tao Pai Pai killed Mr. Satan's master. And that kind of left such an impact on Mr. Satan that he would never like mess with people who seem strong ever again.
Oh, that's a little unnecessary backstory, but...
Well, I believe they bring up that he was killed by poisoning. Is that right? Or is it just straight up murder?
No, it's that Mr. Satan got to be so big to the point where he was as a combination of his own strength and then like his opponents would just by happenstance of luck end up getting like food poisoning or not feel so good. And so he would be beating them. But
I thought it was that his master or something was killed by poisoning. It's like, or like food poisoning. So it's like, well, now I'll just start doing that. I'm like, my tummy hurts. I can't.
No, the specific wording is that his master was killed and Satan was heavily injured. So it seems like some sort of physical altercation went on here. But
That makes sense.
I mean, Tao Pai Pai is like an assassin, so like actual like killing hand-to-hand combat isn't his only repertoire. You know, repertoire is not method. Repertoire. Thank you. So of killing, he could like dip some poison in his drink and assassinate it.
But stuff like this and the whole Mark thing just really makes me think about how these characters were living on in Toriyama's mind. And he had built up so much about these characters, whether before the fact of them being in the manga or after the fact, just thinking about them as they went, is that the Dragon World continued to go on in Toriyama's mind well beyond the finished publication of the series.
Yeah, because I wonder how Toriyama really like because as kids or whatever, they kind of teach you when you're creating a story to like think of you got a main character, right? And like you may never talk about it in the series, but think about what his favorite food is, think about what his favorite song is, just to like make the character come to life in your head to better develop this character. And maybe Toriyama really did do that with these characters too.
Makes sense. He's good at it.
Yeah.
Okay. This one I was surprised by because I was actually looking for information adjacent to this, but it gave me a new tidbit that I was like, oh, this is going to be exciting to reveal, especially, I don't know, Ken always knows everything. That's how I always feel, so maybe this won't surprise him. But I was looking up stuff on Mr. Popo, and I didn't know about some of his origin stuff that has been previously revealed. So, he is apparently over 1,000 years old, and not only served Kami, but also Kami's predecessor. And according to Daizenshu 7, he was born in the otherworld, or in the afterlife, and then later was sent to Earth to assist God, the whole guardian. So I guess he's not really from the demon realm. Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh.
I mean, who better to serve a god than like some entity from another dimension too? Like
born in heaven.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Daima, am I right?
Daima, am I right?
Yeah, because it's funny that like, Enma doesn't have pointy ears. Like Whis and all those angels don't have pointy ears. So there is so much Daima. Oh my god. I'll just leave it there.
Daima.
We could go on
son
a
of a
tirade.
bitch, Daima.
All right, Doug. Your next one.
Mine's like a quick little, just like, I loved this little touch that they did for this. When they're introducing Pan at the end of Dragon Ball Z. And when she goes to the Tenkaichi Budokai, she does a handstand on the tournament stage, just as Goku did when he was first got on that stage too. Like just like the happy-go-lucky. I use that like in an AMV of mine, like just to like, I masked out Goku to like they're doing it together, like side by side, like as a passing the torch. That's when I discovered it too. I'm like, that's really cute that they like. You wouldn't remember that too because it's like 200 and some episodes distance from that, probably more. Like just that, but it was really a nice touch of just them side by side, handstanding with happy-go-luckiness. I loved it.
Man, they really dropped the ball when it came to moving stuff forward with Pan. I mean, GT, we could have just done that. Like, I got so excited reading about Dragon Ball Online where it's like her and Tenshinhan and Kuderen like fought off an alien invasion from like the remaining Frieza force. I'm like, oh, that's sick. But
that sounds sick.
We never did anything with that. That stinks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You guys ever get like a bubble under your eyelid? That's what I got going on right now. And this is staying in.
I always feel like it's just an eyelash that's gotten into my eye, which is always...
No, man. It's a bubble, for sure.
A bubble.
I'm over here like, it's audible. I don't know if the microphone's
yeah,
picking
speech
it up.
bubble.
Yeah, a bubble,
All right.
like from Zelda?
So,
Get your inner thoughts poking out.
So my number one favorite little lore bit, is that the battle against the Ginyu Force and Frieza takes place on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
this
on Christmas Eve.
This originates from a little gag comic that Toriyama wrote for the Weekly Shonen Jump 1991 3 and 4 double issue, which was published on December 19th, 1990. So to celebrate Christmas. And it's a little gag comic just showing where everyone was at that time. And so you've got like Oolong falling asleep with a Christmas tree behind him. I guess the final Toriyama drawn picture of lunch as she's hunting for Tenshinhan and Chaozu, who are, of course, dead. Then you've got Roshi in a Santa outfit sweeping his front porch. You've got everyone doing hide and seek on Kaio's planet, and then Bulma's playing video games on Namek. But this little gag comic was then taken and used by the guidebook people when building out this timeline. And it just so happens that the way the math all happens to work out anyways, because we do have dates from, like, we know when stuff with Cell happens, because that is all explicitly said in the series. And then you have all of this time you can work back from based on how many years Trunks says passes and passage of time and how many months happen from Frieza and all that stuff. And it just so happens that, boy, it works out that, you could put Christmas Eve right here. And that's where the timeline has always been adapted, that fight happens on Christmas Eve. And it's all because of this little gag comic. And it all works together. And it's just brilliant because to me, it is, so sorry, Randy, it is quintessential Toriyama that he was flying by the seat of his pants, but because the story, whether he knew it or not, the story was so real that it was going to, there are things that don't fit quite right, but for the most part, everything fits together exceedingly well for a guy whose reputation is that he didn't care at all.
True.
Yeah. He's just that much of a genius that he does make things fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, with your first tidbit, I think it was your first one, might have been a previous one. I wonder what they call that month that Christmas takes place in the Dragon Ball world. Is it like reindeer sleigh, instead of December?
Coelacanth.
Oh!
I love that Pokemon.
It takes place on the 24th of Coelacanth.
Now, does that mean anything?
You know what a coelacanth is, right? It's like an ancient,
I don't,
like fish, they're still around, but they're like prehistoric.
They made
fish.
a Pokemon out of it.
Yeah, there's a Pokemon with a very similar name.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't remember
Relicanth,
what
I
it
think.
is. Yeah, Relicanth.
Okay.
Yeah. No, coelacanth is a real thing. It's all of the names of these they're all like fish related for the months. Because why not?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At least it's consistent.
Huh. That's cool. I learned something bonus. Trivia.
That's what this podcast is all about.
That's a WGPTIL.
Ken, I'm going to need a really cool graphic here.
Yeah, put the graphic right there.
Yeah.
Like a nice little stamp or whatever that we could throw in there. I like that. Okay. So this is the first one I thought of. So I guess that makes it my favorite because all the other ones I had to like hunt and peck for. But, we all know of the planet Yardrat. The people there apparently also just called Yardrats, I suppose, because they're just, Yardratojin.
Yardratians. We don't, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that is how I...
Let's not call them Namex.
All right, yeah, we don't want to get into that. So, but there are two types of Yardratians.
Oh, yeah.
And that the first one debuted in Z when we get Goku recounting what happened after the fight on Namek and how he got here, that he's, surrounded by these dudes with like big bulbous pink heads and big fish eyes and whiskers and stuff. And we're all kind of like, okay, cool. That's what they look like. Got it. And, then we read the Dragon Ball Super manga and Vegeta goes there and they're like, oh yeah, that's a different one. We're the guys with the actual magic. And they've got like Dragon Quest slime shaped heads and they're short, stubby little dudes. And it's like, oh, okay, we're just doing a different thing. Like, that's cool, I guess. But I didn't know where that design originated because it's not in the Dragon Ball Super manga. It's actually from Dragon Ball Online, and that there were those Yardratians in the game that actually facilitated fast travel for your character because of course they do. That's their thing, is teleportation. So I did not know
Dragon Ball Online is like a treasure trove of like all these facts too. It's so great what they came up with that we never got. I was never really well versed in that because I didn't look into it. I'm like, yeah, we'll get it eventually. So I never really like looked at stuff before. I don't want to be spoiled, so I'll wait till we get it. We never got it.
I believe there are fan translation patches and dedicated servers that you could go play right now and play it in English. So
sorry, Claire Obscure. I'm going back to Dragon Ball Online.
Oh no!
Come on, Doug.
Yeah, you got to stick with this. So yeah, that's mine. I like those guys. I love that outfit. So of course, that's the first thing I think of is like, oh, I did like that Goku outfit. What are these little guys? What are they up to? So there we go.
I love Yardrat. I love what Toyotaro did for them. I love that there's a guy from the Yardratian from Universe 2. His name pun serves both the name pun of his universe, which is like meat puns, and it can also be a pun for the Yardratian name scheme. It's great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Chef's kiss.
Good job, everybody.
So my last one has to do more of like power level scaling. Because me and my friend, like my friend loved Piccolo as a character, and so he would come up to me and ask me like, "Has Piccolo ever been like the strongest character in any instance And I'm like, honestly, I don't think so. Maybe during the fight with Android 17, but then I like stopped. I'm like, oh no, wait, Android 16 was right there, and he just, he didn't want to fight. So but it was just cool that Android 16 of all characters was like the strongest being at one point in the entire planet. Like even Cell hadn't juiced up enough yet to reach there until he absorbed 17. But yeah, Android 16 and poor Piccolo has never been the strongest in the series ever. Proper, at least.
At least on Earth he was, because after Goku and Raditz die, Nappa and Vegeta aren't there, but Piccolo's still around.
No, yeah, you got a point there. But
technically, Boo's egg was on the planet, so no one was really the strongest.
And this is what you get when you go into power level discussions.
He was inactive and sealed away, so really he was kind of like in a pocket dimension. Or
I'm glad I didn't go that deep with my friend, because he would not have heard that. I was just happy to find oh, Piccolo was strong at this one point. Oh no, sorry, and I yanked it away from him. No, 16 was standing right there.
Oh man, bummer.
But yeah,
poor
I have two other small ones that I just wanted to. The fact that Super Saiyan 2 didn't have a name until Super Saiyan 3 was a thing. I love that tidbit about the series. It's just so we don't think about that as Americans, because we had that Super Saiyan 2 moniker from the very get go because it already existed in Japan. But yeah, and then didn't Kaiosama give Goku, after he was untraining him, he gave him a new gi that he's on so specific, it's not weighted anymore because that doesn't really help you anymore, but it does, made out of material that can reflect ki blasts, weak ki blasts.
It can deflect small attacks, which is
small attacks.
It still
which
gets
is even more
torn up anyways. Yeah.
That we never really see. And what does that mean? We never really get to see it in action, I don't think. But I'm glad we don't, because that would be weird to see a blast popping off him. But yeah, it was just really interesting that his suit is magical in a sense.
Yeah. I remember that, and I've always thought we never get to see that. It would have been neat to see it, I suppose, with Nappa, but the whole point of that is to show how strong Goku has gotten in his training.
Yeah, I didn't want it to veer off in another story path. It's this gi. No. Just I think what you said. It's just no. It's just how strong Goku had become, and it's just you don't need the weight training clothes anymore.
I did also come up with another one while Ken was talking through his fusion one, where he brings up that how do you know that you succeeded in learning this fusion technique if you don't actually do it? Does that even really count? I think you can just kind of intuit whether or not you know what you're doing, because we have that whole thing where Trunks tries to defeat Cell and he pushes himself to a level that he's I didn't want to show this to my dad because, it's I didn't want to embarrass him. And he transforms. Then we learn Vegeta knew it. And if they were in that space together, Vegeta would Trunks would be well, he never transformed into it, so he never reached that. It's he knew what it was. He's okay, if I did this, it would do this. Nah, it's not going to work. That's going to make you way too slow, so I'm not even going to bother.
That's very interesting, because, like you said, they didn't try it themselves, but it's still an inherent knowledge of they have their graphic ticker of I could put all my strength into my power into strength, my points, but then my speed goes down, and I'm not going to do that. But how do they know? That is interesting.
And see, that just, I'm going to bring it back to Daima. That is why I like that we went for so long in any sort of continuity with Vegeta not ever using Super Saiyan 3, because it's the same kind of thing. If he wouldn't use Grade 3 because of its drawbacks, he's not going to use Super Saiyan 3 because of its drawbacks. That's just not the kind of fighter he is. And so then when he came out and used it in Daima, and we've got the figures, we all three of us have pre-ordered it. We all like it enough to get it. I'm myself included, okay? But I don't like Vegeta using that technique, that transformation.
Right.
It's
he found
a Vegeta
he found a scenario when to use it. Back in the Cell arc, he was he's aiming for Super Saiyan 2. He sees this buff thing. He's no, I'm not. That's not it. That's not it, Chief. But yeah, he just couldn't get there. And the fact that that's also back to my thing. It's Super Saiyan. It's just an ascended Super Saiyan. What Super Saiyan 2 is. So it's if the series had ended right there after the Cell arc, that would just be known as not a Super Saiyan 2. It'd be known as you've surpassed the limits of Super Saiyan. How cool is that?
Well, and Doug, it's also Super Saiyan 2 is also a great example of the caramel mama of it all. Is that when they were doing the anime comic of Trunks the Special, or the Trunks OVA, Trunks special episode, whatever you want to call it. When they were doing the anime comic of it, in the very back, they walk you through all the Super Saiyan stages. And at that time, they didn't have an official name for Super Saiyan 2, so they just called it Super Saiyan Grade 5.
Grade
and it's just like
5,
the constant, people are like, I love the guidebooks, right? But when you have to take the original work at the highest level of understanding, and then like Caramel Mama's overthinking it. Oh, Grade 5, we'll just keep moving. And Toriyama's like, no, it's just Super Saiyan 2. Simple. Chef's kiss.
Love it.
Total side thing. And you could cut this out, but I just thought it was very funny. So in Sonic Frontiers, that new Sonic game that came out in 2022.
Cut it out.
Yeah, just cut it.
Just kidding.
So,
Go. Just kidding.
Actually, Randy, shut up. I'm leaving this call. So, spoilers. So we all have known that Sonic can transform into Super Sonic, where he has gold hair. And, depending on how new the game is, he either has black eyes or they turn like, reddish brown, whatever. Sonic Frontiers and the like special ending thing, he gets a new transformation, which is he's got same golden quills, but now his eyes are blue and he like has like this weird like blue energy thing to him. And explicitly in the game files, it says this is just called Super Sonic 2. But somebody like on the Sonic the Hedgehog Reddit was just like, what are we as a fandom calling this form? And I saw somebody post Super Sonic Grade 5. I'm like, this guy's the coolest person.
This guy gets it.
I need to be their friend.
That's incredible. Paul, this guy, he knows what he's doing.
Yep, exactly.
Wow, that's a deep pull. That's great.
Yeah, man. It was impressive. Okay.
Keep that in. Keep that in.
That's true. Keep it in. There's some Sonic trivia for you. Oh, man. All right, cool. Well, we got to take a break. We got to calm down from all of our, brains overheating, thinking about all of these little lore tidbits. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back to hear what you guys had to say about some fun little story details. So sit back, relax, and just be right back. You'll be here in like 2 seconds.
Don't go nowhere.
Alrighty, we are back here with more We Got a Podcast. And just like every time, we are putting out the call to you guys. Ken, man in that blue sky, putting out the call. What are some of your favorite smaller details in Dragon Ball? And we have our first one, which I'm going to take because we found this when Doug pointed it out, that it's written 7 p.m. Central tonight, parentheses October 6th. Today is actually...
Ken, the Time Lord Guru, doesn't even know his own real world timeline. So
Look, I don't get paid to do this, so
that's true. I pay them nothing. I am their overlord. I keep it all. Our first response here from Final Forum Podcast, who just has the Hulk from Avengers going, time travel.
time travel.
Oh, that's good. It's good. No,
That's
I like
funny.
it. Ken, do you want to take this first one here from Lady Zeon?
yeah. Lady Zeon says, the Piccolo Daimao arc opens at the Tenkaichi Budokai with Kuririn dead and Goku overcome by grief and rage. The final panels of the arc has Goku in a calm, meditative state and Kuririn alive, thanking Goku and excited to see him again at that same tournament. It's very simple imagery that shows the growth Goku has undergone. Kuririn being alive is the end result of everything Goku had been fighting for, and Kuririn's excitement over seeing seeing Goku again at the tournament where he died puts a nice, cathartic bow on the story. It's like poetry.
Nice.
It rhymes.
That's actually, I want to go back and see that now. That's really nice.
Yeah, man, that's good. I like that. This next one up here from Kai Alone, who says, I kind of love the different shaped speech bubble thing. Round bubbles for good guys and blocky ones for bad guys and former bad guys. But with little details like Super Saiyan Goku using blocky ones, and it's like spiky and stuff. That's really great. I also got to mention Babidi using a different font from everyone else in the Buu Saga, because he's my favorite silly little guy.
Yeah.
Always wondered if Toriyama had something in mind with that choice, like something about the way his voice would sound, or yeah, it's like small and like really wispy.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Just a little
stuff
guy.
like that doesn't get brought over in the Viz translation. So Nerdy jumps in and says, I think Dragon Ball is brilliant because you don't realize how many of the small things actually matter. One of my favorites has to be the little moments, relationships and character dynamics between the characters. I especially love Umigame always being done with Kame-sen and Puar despising Oolong, the dynamic between Piccolo and Gohan as an adult, and the way Bulma interacts with Goku, Vegeta, and Yamcha throughout the series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
man.
I love the instant, like, when Bulma first sees Goku as an adult, like, well, this guy's kind of cute. But, like, no, doesn't amount to anything. I do like that.
Now I'm kind of going ahead and being like, I just thought of a thing. that is not like lore tidbit, but a small detail. Okay, cool. Nobody brings it up. That specific thing of, how Bulma interacts with Goku, Vegeta, and Yamcha throughout the series. It's like that last episode of Dragon Ball GT, and maybe we talked about it when we were doing it, that when Goku is missing, everybody is yelling for him, and like the distinct ways that like everybody calls him things, like Bulma's the only one that yells Sankun, and like Gohan is, father, and Chi-Chi of just Gokusa. I'm just like, that's so
made
good.
Me cry, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, man. God, that's good.
You don't get that in the dub at all. Dang, that's crazy.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah. So we've got Nero Nova, who says the World Tournament announcer, such a simple character that has so much to like, from deploying his own flying vehicle to see who wins between Goku and Tenshinhan, to him being the only one who recognizes the gang when they return in the Buu arc. I just love the dedication he has to the job. I wonder what he does in the off season, because he's only doing this for like a day or two. Like, what else does he do?
He's a monk. He's a monk.
He's a monk, or he works at the bank.
No, he is a monk. That is the lore.
Oh, really? The actual lore?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, and that's
great.
From Kakarot.
Of course. Dang it, Kakarot. Always giving us that.
That's a WGP TIL.
Just the whole structure of the World Tournament too. Just like made me think, like, did the World Tournament get like too big? Like, how like they eventually in the Buu Saga have like stands for people to sit on and everything. Like, did it get so big because of our heroes, like of the series, like making it like it used to be like a nice small thing with like regular fighters, but then our heroes introduced like beams and like these crazy techniques. Like,
Piccolo destroyed the arena, and they had to rebuild it after that.
The audience is gone by then. So, like, what spectacle was there? Like, how did it get more? Maybe it was Mr. Satan's fault. In all, they made it more like commercialized and popular and like, widespread. So maybe not even our heroes, but Mr. Satan.
A mix of that and having to, like Ken brings up, rebuild it. So they're rebuilding it and they're like, should we change it up? Like, yeah, put some stands in there. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Did it get any bigger from like the 21st to the 20? What's the one with Piccolo? 23rd?
23rd. No. And I know that for a fact because that was going to be one of my tidbits.
Hell yeah, you bring it back.
So I went to check and I'm like, oh no, it doesn't change. So it doesn't change until Piccolo destroys it. And then we only don't see the 24th Tenkaichi Budokai, but there's a flashback in the Buu arc in which it is the same, I believe it's the same tournament ground as we see in the 25th tournament, which means, so and Satan didn't get big as we understand it until he won the 24th. So it's probably doesn't have anything to do with him, but they probably just rebuilt it to be bigger. Okay. Maybe as a safety issue in case something like Piccolo were to happen again, and then Vegeta just wipes out like the crowd anyways.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. That's great though.
Yeah, that's good.
Jake writes in, says, Z36, an entire episode I feel is very underrated. The gathering of fallen friends with the weight of the battle still hanging heavy. Bulma is completely wrecked and everybody is coping in their own way. Everyone talks it over and it closes with a hopeful rally. I love this episode. What is that? The one where the hospital or something, or in the ship?
That's on like the ship. Like after they've gotten all of the bodies in pods, and they're just like
that.
Yep. That's how it ends.
Some favorite moments of mine: Krillin watching the moon fade away, and Bulma taking over piloting duties. Everything has time to breathe and settle. I miss this in modern Dragon Ball so much. Krillin ultimately being the only one to drive the story forward is fantastic too.
Wow.
Yeah. It is a very somber, like, what do we do now moment that has.
And they had added a insert song to Kai for that one, right? Like there was a song that was like on that first soundtrack that's like, when is this showing up? And then it was like, oh, okay, then this is in here. Interesting. I have to check it out.
I do like when Kai takes the liberty and like makes it their own thing instead of just a one for one cut some stuff out and like adding insert songs where there wasn't before. Hey, I mean, if I wanted it without it, I'd watch the original. So thank you, Kai, for giving me something new. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that Toku Sentai song really makes the Ginyu appearance, and I think it surpasses the original.
Exactly. Can't agree more. So we've got Kev Trev here who says, characters in the background making goofy faces or doing silly poses. Bubbles is a good example of this. Whenever we visit Kaio's planet, he's often in the background doing stuff like picking his nose, sticking his tongue out, or imitating Goku as he's about to teleport to New Namek.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I love in the manga when you just have some characters like in the corner, just like piecing and then like a little bubble, like this character isn't here right now, blah, 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 or something, or not even that, maybe just like I envision Roshi in the corner. Do you guys envision that too in the manga?
I think I might know what you're referencing, but I can't entirely place it. Yeah, It's good. I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open for that.
There's corny stuff with like Toriyama reusing panels, and then he's like, "Sorry, you don't have to pay me for this page." Or
He
something
points
like
it out. Yeah.
Like Go Tanks, they're doing the fusion over and over again. It's like, isn't this just the same page as last time?
Polar writes in and says, one of my favorite little things is seeing Goku and Vegeta in more casual outfits between the big moments. I like that we get to see that a lot more in Super, especially with Vegeta, if I recall correctly. I love when a character's gag is done well, like young Roshi in Daima Episode 2. I also absolutely love when, mostly in Super, Goku and Vegeta kind of drop the pretense of the rivalry, sparring at the start of the Moro arc, along with the way they trust each other and fight together during that arc as well. Also have to enjoy everything with the tournament announcer from the Boo saga. One of my all-time favorite bits where he's like, "Come on, we all know it really happened," in reference to who beat Cell.
Dude, another callback to Mr. Announcer guy. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He deserves more respect.
Yeah, honorary member of the cast.
Right?
Totally.
Oh, man, he should have showed up at Kame House and stuff, or like been invited to the party
I mean,
for
I
Yosun
get
Goku
it.
and Friends
Oh, maybe at the
Return.
barbecue. That'd be nice, yeah.
That would have been nice. So then we've got Weeba, who says, something interesting in Dragon Ball that I never see with a lot of series is just how Toriyama was able to take loose threads from several arcs prior and seamlessly reintroduce them later on. Things like the Red Ribbon Army being a recurring problem, Baba and her power to revive souls for a day, or even Piccolo and Kami speaking to Mekian at the 23rd tournament, meaning that he either knew about Namek or had an idea for it for later. It really makes a fan feel validated for paying attention to the story being told. Oh, yeah.
It really just stabs at the jokes we make that he's very forgetful. He probably isn't very forgetful. He just something he just doesn't care about too much to remember. But for the most part, his memory is intact. But it's just like lunch. Like, oh yeah, I was done with her. Her job is done, so I don't remember her anymore, kind of thing. Like Toriyama's got a lot more going on than we give him credit for.
Yeah, he explicitly wrote Lunch out of the series, and then again, like we brought up, with that little Christmas gag comic, he didn't forget about her. He was just, there was nothing else to do with her. She had played out the bit of being the maid or the helper at Roshi's place, and then now she went on her own journey that doesn't really have anything to do with the main story that we're on now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such an impressive series, That's why we love it. That's why we keep coming back to it literally every other week because we just can't help ourselves. Ah, man, I love this stuff. And you know what I also love? I also love how generous we are, as they say in the old scripture. And on the 118th episode, he rested. So we gave Zenpai a break, our trivia deity, because we felt this episode is all about trivia. Doug is just losing it over there. Or he was looking at a figure. I don't know.
2 points of relief right there because I'm like, first of all, you're saying we love giving. I'm like, I'm not giving my figures away. These are mine. And then you're like, also no trivia. Oh, okay, we're good. I was like, where's it going? I didn't agree to any giveaway right now.
Yeah, how
I
wild
do have a
would it
giveaway
be?
though coming up in the future, so keep an eye out for that. But nothing planned right now.
Now I have an idea where I do want to just throw out. And Doug's giving away this figure,
Wait,
so
what?
if he doesn't follow through, be mad at him, not me. But no.
I'll just freeze it.
Since this episode was all trivia based, it's like, we don't need to, bury it more. So,
Man, if not for the tariffs, I could have bought all these I could have given these away and bought a bunch of them for super cheap from Japan, but now.
So thanks for listening. We love interacting with you and keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite franchise in the world. You can post at us on our Blue Sky. We're keeping it easy over at wegotapodcast.com there. And of course, you can always throw us an email at wegotapod@gmail.com.
And thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his track, Kakarot Theme Hip Hop Track Remix. You can find that track and other great music by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Ken, where can people find you?
You can find me at detectivex.bsky.social. We are steeped in Oobtober. And it is a good time. I don't know where we're going to be at when this episode comes out, but yeah, it's going on. I think we're at the new character, Muka. What is going on with this new character?
Muka.
I know. You don't yet.
I don't.
I've got my theories. By the time this episode comes out, Spoits has showed up. And,
Spoits.
Oob's got to take him on.
Get out of there. Well, Randy, where can people find you?
You can find me at Saberbreaker at wegotapodcast.com over on Blue Sky. You just look up Saberbreaker. You'll find me.
Nice. And then same for me. Just search up Jabaz and you'll find me on the socials.
Okay, so next episode, we're beginning like our final arc of the year, where we're going to be ending. And that's right, we're going back to the best storyline in the series, Garlic Jr., baby. We're doing the Garlic Jr. arc retrospective. What is it called? Retrospective of Auspiciosity.
There you go.
We're going to be doing two episodes at a time. So for this next week, where we're going to be reviewing episodes 1 and 2, 1 and 2 of the Garlic Jr. arc, you figure out what those episode numbers are of the whole series. But now these two chuckleheads have already reviewed Dragon Ball Z Movie 1, so we will not be re-reviewing that, but we will, and Doug, this is going to be news to you, we will all be re-watching it so that it is fresh in our minds in the discussion that we're going to be having of the series. So you have 3 bits of homework for the next episode. 2 are like really required, which is going to be the 2 episodes, but you should also rewatch Dragon Ball Z Movie 1 because there's going to be some stuff we're going to be exploring. Could a version of Z Movie 1 have happened? And does anything in this arc say that it doesn't? So that's something to be
I'm really excited to just rewatch Z Movie 1 just to get to that ending with the Piccolo and Goku theme song combining into one. Oh, good
the
stuff.
The only time we get Makafushigi adventure in Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Yeah.
Man.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Bring your own sacred water. Sacred water will not be provided for you. You must bring your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Go find a priest, have him bless it, and then take it from there.
Yeah,
Simple
make sure
as
you've
that.
got it, because we all know how you get when you've had your black mist. You're grouchy.
Yeah, you don't like yourself when you're black mist.
No.
So your mission has been assigned, and we'll catch you Matinator.
Bye.
See ya.